Oh, okay. I kind of just started without even really thinking, without really just double checking that everything is fine. But I mean, I think it should be fine. Everything should be fine, hopefully. But today, I wanted to jump into last stream. I said that I was going to cover how to make like a Magic 8-Ball game. And this stream, we're going to do that. So actually last stream, I basically created like everything. I did everything that you would need in order to make your own Magic 8-Ball game. But let's actually go through it, and then you can compare, contrast how your Magic 8-Ball game compares to my Magic 8-Ball game. See, what you like better, what you think, what do you think about it, So, let's do it. Let's go to the main menu. And the first thing that we're going to have to do is actually make the scene for the Magic 8-Ball game. So we're going to create, and I'm going to go a little bit faster in this one just because we already went through a lot of stuff before. So, if you're having trouble, there's that last stream, I think was the best like beginner stuff. And then the first stream, I think, was like a lot of really in-depth coding stuff for beginners. And this stream is going to be sort of like marrying, just providing another example, So nothing new is going to be covered here, probably. I was thinking about like adding a lot of polish and stuff, but I was like, yeah, Magic 8-Ball. Okay, so we're going to copy this, and then we're going to go into the canvas, into the button organizer, Magic Game. Looks like we have a scene switcher here, so I'm going to add that in. I'm assuming I forgot, go to scene, we're going to add that there, and now this should be working. The only thing that we have to do is we have to go into the build profiles and then go ahead and open the scene list, and then just drag in our Magic 8-Ball game into here, game, and then that's all set to go. Now we're going to, we could even just test this out here, so we're going to click play. And then whenever we click on Magic 8-Ball, it takes us to the new scene, and there's nothing there. And just to confirm that this is the new scene, we only have 4 scenes in total. The main menu, this is the text adventure, and then if we go one more time into the number guesser, that's perfect right there. Now you may be thinking, it's kind of annoying that you have to go back and forth by doing that. So we can add like a back button to that. And pretty simple. The way you would do that is the same way we coded this code switcher or the scene switcher. In the button, you would just type in main menu instead of whatever scene you're trying to go to. So the main menu would be the home scene, right? Okay, Magic 8-Ball. Let's go here. Let's go ahead and make some UI. I think we're all are going to need is okay, let's think about a Magic 8-Ball. So a Magic 8-Ball is like a little thing that you shake, and then you ask it a question, you shake it, and then you show the answer, right? So we probably want 3 different states of, or 2 different states, because it's going to be more simple. So the 2 states would be 2 different states. Okay, one state is going to be ask the ball a question. So it's going to be like a black ball, and then it will then like flip over, and the second state would be it showing the response to the question that you asked, and then the little button appears below it that says ask another question, and then it will take you back, or maybe I should say like start again, and that will take you back, and then you would ask the question, click, shake the ball, and then it would flip over. Okay, so the first thing that we would probably want, let's make a UI canvas, And then let's make a image. Yep. Okay. And then let's look for what we have for a source image. I think knob might be good for now. And let's say we wanted to change this background. I think we could add in a solid color and then change this to whatever color you want. And the way I did that, because I didn't cover that before, go to main camera and you click on background, scroll down here inside of the environments tab. If it's not dropped down already for you, just have you drop it down. It's probably going to be on Skybox for you when you open it. But then just go to solid color. And then this is your option to change the background color. You could change this to whatever color you want, probably for like a more like fortune teller vibe, probably like a dark purple color would be good. And then we'll change the image and we'll change it to black. So the way to make it a circle, Unity just gives you a bunch of images like right out of the box. So all you have to do is click on the circle dot next to the source image. And then it provides you with these images. You can also click on this little eye icon in the top right, and it shows a bunch of like hidden images that you wouldn't have access to if you just hit that. This is used by like Unity for their just for their own UI, I believe. Or, you know, I'll be honest, I don't really know where these are used, but they're used somewhere, definitely, because it's on here. I would assume they're used somewhere. So, but I'm just choosing knob for now. Oh, I accidentally changed it. Animation IK, yeah, that makes sense. Some sort of IK thing. And then this black orb is going to be our Magic 8 Ball. And then you can see it's a little faded out. I wonder if we can. No, we can't. It's a little blurry. Unfortunate. That's the original size of the ball. So we're increasing it a lot. I don't know if you could hear that or not. We're increasing it a lot. So whenever we do make it bigger, you'll see that it gets stretched out visually. Boom, there we go. And then we want to, let's add those two states on here. Let's add the one state that says, here, I'm gonna, okay, this is the Magic 8 Ball image. And then let's go ahead and create an empty parent by right clicking and then create empty parent, or Control-Shift-G. And then this is going to be the, what is it called? This is going to be the ask state. And then let's duplicate it. And this is going to be the answer state, right? So we have an ask state and we have an answer state. So whenever we're asking the question, that's what we're going to see. And whenever it answers our question, this is what we're going to see. So it looks the same right now. So let's go ahead and change it by adding in like a little, we could actually duplicate this image, and then this could be like the actual inner part of the Magic 8 Ball. So if you don't know how Magic 8 Ball looks, it's like a sphere, then you twist it over, and there's like another circle that's like black, and then it has like a triangle, right, that has the image of your answer. So we're going to change this to, we're going to keep it the same, but we're going to say inner circle. And then if we scale this down a little bit, let's change the color slightly, probably to like a dark, like that color. And actually, since we're doing it that small, let's make this bigger. And then we can copy over this component by right clicking on Rect Transform and then click copy components. Then we're going to go over to this one and we're going to paste components, component values, just like that. So what I did there is I copied the rect transform of the answer state and I pasted it onto the rect transform of the ask state. So if we look at this ask state now, turn that on and then turn this off, you'll see that it's the same size, and that's what I was just trying to achieve there. Okay, now this inner circle is still a little small, I think. Make it a little bigger, and then let's make a triangle here. Sure, install now. Okay, I'm just opening up my design software of choice. This design software is just what I'm used to using, but you know, you could use whatever you want to make a triangle. Or let's check if there's already a triangle over here. If not, then sorry. Triangle answer. Let's do answer background. Okay. And then let's see if there's, no, let's just use this. That's fine. I'm using the UI sprite image, and I'm going to change it to white. You can see it's really bright and big. So I'm going to make it smaller by just doing that and then dragging in the edges just like that. And then maybe we could use this eyedropper, pick the same color and use like a lighter version of that color, right? And then this is going to be where our answer is. So inside of this answer background, I'm going to add in a UI text mesh pro. And then I'm going to use this alignment tool like we used last time, and then press Alt and Shift, and then click this scale. And then I'm going to, once we have that set, align it in the center and align it in the middle. And then let's also lower the text size to 16, or you could do 24 if you want. I think 16 is fine just because I don't know how much text we're actually going to write on this one. And then this is pretty much everything that is set up except for one last thing, which is going to be the button. So let's go ahead and add a UI button text mesh pro, and then we're gonna, whoops, start again button, start again. We're gonna go here, press W, drag it down, and then we're gonna change this text to start again. Start again. Need two hands for that. Okay. And then we're going to copy this button and then go to the ask state. And then we're going to turn this on and then paste the start again button. And then we're going to change the text inside of it from start again to ask a question, just like that. And then we're going to change the size of the button, pressing T, doing it like that. Perfect. And then we can even make this bold. Boom. There you go. So now we got pretty much everything done. The next thing that we want to do is we want to actually write the code to ask it a question. The code is going to be super simple. So I'm going to go through it. I was going to say quick, but I'll try to explain. So if this is your very first game or whatever, I might be going a little bit too fast, but this is more for your reference to see how did I do it compared to how did you do it. Not necessarily saying that my way is better, but this is just for comparison, you know. Magic 8 Ball. Okay, and then let's go ahead and make our new script, and this is going to be our Magic 8 Ball logic. Okay, just like that. Open this up, and then we're going to be using Writer. Writer is a IDE. Sorry, I feel like I'm low energy, or I sound bored. I don't mean to. Okay, let's go ahead and actually make this. Okay, so we're going to do serialize field. And then the first thing that we're going to do is grab a reference to our text that's going to display our answer. So we're going to do private TMP underscore text. Another way to write this would be text mesh pro UGUI, and those are both valid ways to get a reference to that piece of text. And then we're going to change this to answer text, and then private. We're going to do public void ask or answer question. So this is going to be the answer to the actual question. And then we're also going to, you could do this one of two ways. You could have like a separate system. Let's do it the more difficult way, just so we can see what it looks like to have like multiple scripts in different systems. So I'm thinking. So let's say that we wanted different personalities, right? So we have the player has the opportunity to ask different people the question. So they have a question and they have the option to get an answer from different people. So let's make a new script called I'm like trying to think of how to write this as I'm thinking of the idea. Let's make a new script called prophet, or is that not a good word? Something fortune teller. So let's call this person teller, or I guess we could call him fortune. No, fortune teller is fine. Teller is fine. Okay, so I'm gonna put these two pieces of code next to each other, and I just realized it's super small for you guys. So let me go ahead and make it bigger so we can actually see. So the teller class is going to be is going to have a few different pieces of information. It's going to have a let's add the answers, responses, private, and then this is going to be string responses, just like that. And then we're going to add a public method, or actually let's just do one string get response, just like this. And then we're going to return using the lambda function, or lambda operator, to return a response, and it's going to be random.range between 0 and the length of that response. So that's going to be the main logic of our game right there. But we also want to I would want this system to be a self-contained system, right? So I would want the magic 8-ball logic to not have to worry about any of the logic that is on the actual teller. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a private void button, or no, sorry, private button, and then we're going to go to UI, then access this as the button. And then we're also going to do the required component type of, and then we're going to type in button. So this is basically going to force our Unity editor to tell us like, hey, if this doesn't have a button, you're doing something wrong. It's actually going to display like a warning thing going like, yo, you need a button. Private void awake. And then we're just going to assign the button on awake. So we're going to do button equals to get component button. And we absolutely know that we're going to have a button because of this attribute at the very top. Okay, now I want to, inside of this, I want to be able to get access to this information, but I don't want to put it inside as a serialized field, because inside of a serialized field, I think it would be just a lot of work, because if we want to make like a bunch of different people, it's going to be too much work to try to assign the same person to this magic 8-ball logic, because this is going to be an external reference not held inside of the prefab. So we're going to solve that issue by making a singleton, and a singleton is just a way to get a reference to something anywhere by accessing a static variable, and the static variable is going to hold the class itself. So in order to do that, and it's going to be public also, in order to do that, we're going to do public static magic 8-ball logic, and then call this instance just like that. And then we're going to do private void awake, and then we're going to assign this instance to this variable of the static class for the static class, because this means that there only exists one for the entire class. Okay, so in order to do that, we're going to do instance is equal to this, just like that. Super simple, super easy. But the problem is, okay, now if we have more than one magic 8-ball logic in the entire game, this is going to present a problem. Now the solution to this is just don't put more than one magic 8-ball logic in your game. So, but I think it's always good to just add a safety check. So we're going to do if instance is not equal to null, which means that it's not that it is occupied right now. Then we're going to destroy this game object, and then we're not going to get to this point, so we're just going to return. And then this is also that I stopped doing recently, but I think it's good to add this into your game and just go like there already exists another instance of the magic 8-ball class in your scene. So just like that. And then this is going to generate us our input field. Okay. So now, instead of doing this logic here, all I want to do is display answer. So we're going to display a string right here, and then it's going to take in our answer text. Answer text.text is equal to answer, just like that. Easy, super simple. And instead of doing this here, we can still keep this in awake, or we can use start. And the reason why I'm going to use start instead of awake is because we are assigning this magic 8-ball instance inside of awake. So I don't know if this magic 8-ball logic is going to run first, or if this teller magic is going to run first. And if the teller magic runs first, then it's going to cause an issue. So instead of running into that risk, and there's ways that we can force it to that the teller is going to run second, but I think the simplest way would be to just realize that awake, there's no guarantee of which script is going to run before, but we can guarantee that if we just switch from awake to start, because start always runs after awake, right? So let's change this from awake to start, and then we're going to assign our button on start, and then we're going to add a listener on here. So on click.add listener, and then we're going to do the lambda function. Basically, all we're going to do is we're going to display the answer. First we have to get the magic 8-ball instance, and in order to get that, magic 8-ball logic dot instance dot display answer, and then that is where we're going to add in our responses. And if we want to make this nicer, we could type in response is equal to response dot random range 0 to response dot length, and then we're going to get our response just like that. If I don't spell it incorrectly, just like that. Boom, perfect. Okay, now that we did that, this should be everything that we need in order to set up our different tellers. I think that's it, actually, pretty much. Actually, if we're doing this, a lot of people don't like the idea of the singleton. This thing is called a singleton, because it sort of adds in like problems for you to in the future for just like different problems, you know. That was such a bad. It adds in problems like if you have a lot of singletons and you're always relying on the code to look for this instance, it just can get really messy. So actually, I'm going to rewrite this code right now. Instead of doing this, we're going to change this to initialize, just like that. And we're going to change this to public. And instead of us like accessing this method from elsewhere, we're going to remove the singleton pattern, and then we're going to hold all of our tellers inside of an array. So it's going to be serialized field, private teller, and then there's going to be our array of tellers. And then we're going to give our tellers a name, and then do serialized field, private string, and there's going to be teller name with lowercase t. And then on our teller name, we want to get the Text Mesh Pro components. So we can probably also get that as a reference here. So that's going to be a private TMP text, button text right here. And then it's giving us an error because we're not using TM Pro. Now it's up there. Now it's not, we're not getting the error. And then on here, we're going to do button text is going to be equal to dot text is going to be equal to, and we're going to use this ask, and then we're going to do teller name, just like that, a question. Okay, just like that. So this is going to let us like assign each teller a name, and then it will auto generate the text, ask, the name, a question. And then it's going to add in our logic over here. And then instead of having our Magic 8 Ball being set up through a singleton, we're going to keep a private reference of the Magic 8 Ball logic in here. So we're going to do private Magic 8 Ball logic, and then it's going to be logic right there. And then we're going to pass that information through our Magic 8 Ball logic instance right here, just like that. And then we're going to do, we need the underscore right there. Logic is equal to instance. And then over here, instead of doing this, we're going to do logic.display answer, just like that. Or we don't even actually have to hold it, but it's fine. It's fine to hold it. Maybe we might need it in other places. Okay, and instead of doing this, I think that's fine. Okay, so now we have this, and inside of our private void start for each, let's go ahead and we're going to save the tellers as a prefab. So all we have to do is we have to get a parent, so serialized field, private transform teller parent. So we're going to, for each teller in tellers, a little bit of a confusing naming convention, but I feel like it makes sense to me. But this is going to be our data type of teller. This is going to be the actual variable that we're calling in tellers, which is just an array. And then we're going to do something on each of them. We want to instantiate a teller inside of our teller parent. And then once we actually get this teller, we also want to initialize our teller prefab is equal to this. So we're actually getting the teller prefab dot initialize, and then we're going to set this. We're going to send this class over, just saying like, hey, send this over. Okay. And then this is only going to run on start a single time, which I think is fine. So once we do this, then we can, inside of display answers, let's get 2 fields of a transform, and then it's going to be ask state with a lowercase a, ask state and then another transform of transform show state or answer state. Answer state, just like that. Boop, easy, easy, easy. Okay. And then we're going to get a reference to this. That's fine. Okay, now whenever we display an answer, we are going to change the text, which I think is fine, but we're also going to turn off the ask state. So ask state.gameObject is going to be equal to false. And then we're going to turn on the answer state. So it's going to be answer state dot gameObject dot set active is equal to true. And this is actually one instance where I remember I mentioned that like sometimes you can use transform and gameObject interchangeably, and you could see we're basically only using it to turn it on or off. But we have to go through to the gameObject in order to do that. So actually, instead of doing that, let's change these to gameObject. And then let's change this to gameObject as well. You can see it doesn't throw an error because we can still get the gameObject of a gameObject, and it's just going to return itself, which is not necessary. So let's delete that and then do plus or dot. Same thing again over here. And now look, our code is smaller just by changing this type from a transform over to a gameObject, and then it's just going to show us the answer, which is going to be display answer, and this is going to run whenever we click on this over here. And then all we have to do in order to actually show our in order to show these questions again, we're going to do try again button. And the only thing that we have to do over here is all we have to do is get the answer state and then set active to false, just like that. And then get the ask state and set it active to true. And then all of the logic has already run, so we don't have to do anything else. All of the logic ran on start. That's the only thing we have to worry about. Okay, now we're going to save this. We're going to save this, and we're actually going to start building out our game. So instead of having this ask a question in the ask state, this is not start again. This is teller prefab. So inside of here, we're going to add in our teller logic. We need the button text, which is going to be this. We need the teller name, which is going to be I don't know. Let's go. My name, Henry. Okay. Then say unsure. Ask again. Definitely, right? Definitely. No. It is uncertain. Okay. Absolutely. I see it as a possibility. Okay. So we have 6 responses here, and now we have this teller prefab, and this is basically all we have to do to make this into a prefab. We're going to go into our prefabs option, drag that in there, and then we're going to make this into a private, we're going to make a parent, and then we're going to call this button organizer. I feel like I've used this so many different times. And then we're going to do a layout. It's going to be a horizontal layout. And then let's go ahead and add in multiple. See that we have a problem. We don't want it to be like that. The reason why it is like that is because the button organizer itself is just a little square this size. So let's go ahead and click into the Rex transform and make it the same width of everything. And let's do it to the bottom. And it's because this is in the ask state. So let's go ahead and make this ask state the same size of our screen. Then the button organizer, we want to, yeah, that's fine to have it down there. And then we're going to raise it up just a little bit, just so it's not all the way in the bottom. And then just click this child width expand, and then it's going to be right there. And instead of setting it to the upper left, we're going to do middle center. Whoa, I did middle right instead of middle center. And then we're going to add the spacing of 24. And then That's pretty good. And then now we can delete this. Then we have our Magic 8 Ball logic, which we haven't made. Let's call this game logic, and then let's add in our Magic 8 Ball logic script. And then we have the ask state over here. We have the answer state over here. Then we have the answer background, answer text is right here. And then we have the teller parent, which is going to be the button organizer. And then inside of our teller prefab, we can actually make a bunch of different prefabs over here. And we're going to make this tellers inside of here. And then we're going to right click on this, and then we're going to create, and then we're going to do prefab variant, which just means that we're going to make different variants of this one prefab. So we already have Henry here. Let's do negative Nelly, okay, just like that. And negative Nelly is only gonna say no, right? So we're gonna change these. Ask again, unsure. We're gonna get rid of unsure. No, it is. Uncertain is fine. Absolutely. Let's get rid of absolutely. I see it as a possibility. Let's do probably not. Okay, let's do another one. Let's change this to definitely not. Are you joking? Right? K. I forgot the K. Are you joking? And then no. Okay, so this is going to be our negative Nelly. Negative Nelly. And then we're going to change this one to Henry. And then let's add in another one. And then this one is going to be positive Polly. Okay, and say yes, absolutely. I think I already have absolutely. Definitely no. We're gonna get rid of no. It is uncertain. Let's do, okay, didn't mean to do that. It is uncertain. Let's get rid of that, and then do yes. I see it as a possibility. Let's get rid of that one. Okay, this one is just going to have 4 responses, and then we're going to do positive Polly just like that. And then inside of our game logic, we're going to drag in all of these tellers. So right here, you could see we have this issue of it going away. So we're going to lock it at the top right. Then we're going to select all of these and just drag them into the teller just like that. And then all we have to do now is actually should just be working except for the start again. I forgot to do the start again logic. So in order to go to the logic, click add, on click, game logic, drop that in, Magic 8 Ball logic, and then we have, where is it at? Should be somewhere here, unless I actually didn't write the code. Oh, I put it to private. That's why we're not able to see it. So let's change it to public, try again button. And then when we click on it now, try again button, boom, there we go. Now everything should be working. And now if we click play, oh, ask Henry a question, ask negative Nelly a question, ask positive Polly a question. Was this a great stream, lecture stream to show you how to make a game? Absolutely. Wow. Thanks, positive Polly. Did anybody not learn anything? Are you joking? No. What? Thanks, negative Nelly. Will I do this again? Okay, well, that was me. That was no. So that is that game. And just to close it off, I think this was a great way to I think this was a great introduction to making your own game. You could, I don't know about this in particular, if you could expand on it, but I think this can definitely be like a sort of side game in your game, you know? It could be just like a little fun thing that somebody goes to and this is like, oh, I want to ask it a question. And then you ask it a question, and there could be different types of people, different personalities, you know? Now you have the framework to actually do that over here. And along with that, we also have the other game. So if we go back to scenes, have text adventure, we have the Magic 8 Ball, which we just did, and then we have the Number Guesser. So we have 3 different games. Very quick, very easy. If you want to see something like this in the future, where I'm actually making something maybe more in depth, let me know what you would want me to remake. I was thinking maybe a platformer or whatever, or like 2D, 3D, if you guys are interested in 2D or 3D. And yeah, I'll jump on it. But I think these this battery of projects, I think, is a good set of batteries to get you comfortable with using Unity and get you actually using getting comfortable inside of code. So hopefully you learned some, and hopefully your Magic 8 Ball was cool too. So I'm excited to see what you guys came up with. Send it over, send it Discord, and I think I have my Discord set up on my channel somewhere. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, and if this was going, by the way, I just want to reiterate, if this was too fast for you, because this was the shortest stream at 40 minutes, or you didn't really understand what I did, and I kind of like restarted the project in the middle of it, where I was like, oh, actually, I don't like this, let me rewrite it. This was just used as reference, and also just to sort of show how I would go about coding something. And this was like a very simple project. Like I didn't have any idea of how I was going to do this before I started the stream. So this is like a real, like, in life example of how I would code something. And hopefully that process of watching me like try to think of the best way to do something would be helpful. And also it is really just like reference, because hopefully you were able to do this on your own, because I did give you everything on how to do this in the last stream. And if you weren't able to, well, here's your reference. And this is like, I think, a pretty solid implementation of that, even though it only took 42 minutes. But okay, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time. And we're going to be doing something different, hopefully. Oh, I was thinking about going through my very first game and seeing how good that code was. So if that sounds interesting to you, we could actually do that and look at the code and look at the actual game. Maybe not look at the game. I think it was kind of whatever. Okay, bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, bye, bye.